Okay, hey guys, this is John. Welcome to a late night stream. It is Wednesday, June 8th, 2016, and I'm in the mood to play some Blitz chess. So I thought I'd log on and fire up the old stream. How's it going, everyone? We have familiar faces in the chat. Scott, Toby, the S-Man, Tony, Baggy Pants Man, and of course Anton. The Cavs-Warriors game is going on right now. I haven't seen any of that game tonight, but feel free to spoil it for me because I kind of lost interest in the series when the Warriors went up 2-0. I just assume it's going to be a blowout. Everyone can see me and hear me loud and clear? How's it going, James? And Ryan Tucker? Happy belated birthday to Tony Rotella. Tony had his birthday, I think, over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. He is a much beloved chess author with his own YouTube channel, which you should check out, and also a frequent contributor slash viewer to this channel. I don't know if contributor is the right word, but I feel like he is. I played Tony before. We played on this channel in the past many times. Hello, Lucid Chess. Haven't seen you for a while. John, can you play using the Scotch Gambit? That's not part of my usual repertoire tree, but I will try. I will try if I get a chance. Thank you, Gwen. Let's play a game right off the bat. I'm looking for a 3-minute game. Let's get in the pool. In the meantime, I'm watching this game between Hakeem and B Small. Who is Grandmaster B Small? Leonard U. Dawson. Older Grandmaster, I believe, lives in New York. I played over the board a couple times. Sauerkraut, and we're going Team Scandy right away against Mr. Sauerkraut. Let's play the queen back to D8. He's a tough one at the 3-minute time control, and he's got a low-ish rating. What is this? D5. That's a new move as far as I'm concerned. I'm just going to play C6 and try to undermine the center. I don't know what his point is. If bishop C4, I might play B5. Does B5 work? I guess we'll find out. So my idea is if he plays bishop b3, I'll play b4 and then look to win this pawn. Drive away the knight. So drive away the light square bishop back to b3, gain a tempo, drive away the knight. Maybe this Grandmaster has lost his mind against the Scandinavian. He's just so taken aback by my opening choice, he doesn't know what to do. Okay, so I could take it. Let's play b4 again. Don't want to leave b5 weak. Really? You can get away with this move, huh? So if I take, queen takes, king takes, c7, I have a defense against all that, do I not? All right. We got to call his bluff. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Maybe it works. We'll find out. Okay, so he's going after the rook in the corner, so I guess I should play this move. So that if c7 knight takes, I can go and win the rook at the end. Okay, pawn takes, rook d1 check, king here, and then c7. Might work for him. Let's not calculate too much, but I feel like this is a key moment. I got to get it right at the moment. Bishop e6 maybe? That's another opportunity I have. Bishop e6, he can always win the material back though. So take rook d1, I'm looking at that again. King here, c7. Really doesn't seem like it should work, but maybe it does. Can always throw in b1, but does that do anything? Probably not. E5 is another move I could throw in here. I'm going to try this, looking to make way for the king to come to e7. I've used so much time already, I have to play something fast. What in the world is going on? Okay, so let's do this. Trying to threaten some discoveries, namely c takes on b2. Okay, so let's do this. If he castles king e7, there's bishop d6, but king back to e8 maybe. Okay, let's do this. Ah, you can take there. Okay. Yeah, clever. Did not see that. We still have some activity, but maybe it's not enough. Knight e2. He got the better of me in these complications. Mr. Sauerkraut. Now he's up, what, 2 pawns plus an exchange? Not good whatsoever. Okay, let's try our best. Try to organize. I'm letting this pawn go. Losing another pawn doesn't really matter to me much anymore. I got to get some counterplay. I need piece activity if I want any chance of getting back in the action. Okay, I guess we'll play this move. I've got a puncher's chance. I've got an outside chance. Let's say rook he1, bishop takes, rook takes. He's going to give the exchange back up. Okay. So trying to stabilize the position, it seems. Let's bring the knight in. h3 looks logical. Drive away my bishop. I might need some of that Scandi swindling power right away, guys. I might be calling for that immediately. Okay, he's going to play king b2, but what can you do? Didn't play king b2. Odd. Okay, let's go here. Threatening rook d1. If check king a3, yeah, he can win that. Guess we'll go back here. A3 mate. A3 checkmate. That was a nice one. Oh, what a crazy game to start. I lose, but it was interesting. I mean, he gave up the knight on c3 and then played bishop f3, so threatening c7 check. I guess I should play c takes b2 here, perhaps. But there were so many lines to calculate in a short period of time. So let me go to my history and check that game out. So let's just see. Plays d5, kind of cramping my position, and then c6 to undermine the pawn. Looks logical. I'm pretty sure when he plays bishop c4, he didn't see b5. So idea being, like, if bishop b3, trying to stay defending the pawn, I can play b4, drive away the knight, win this pawn. So he went back to e2. I admire his ingenuity, his craftiness, in figuring out a way to give up material favorably. So in the interest of time, we'll take a look at the evaluation, which I believe you guys can see. That was a nuts game, wasn't it, Scott? So here, bishop f3. It's in black's favor, a pawn and a half, but I certainly didn't figure out the best way. So here, best is king c7, allowing bishop f4 check, and then I assume, okay, now play e5, and I guess trying to get the bishop out to d6, looking for a trade, and if c7, I have knight c6 blocking his bishop. So king c7, my move knight a6 runs into problems here, and look at my clock. I think on this move I burned up, yeah, a full minute deciding on what to play, and didn't really come up with a good move. I was looking at this a lot. Rook d1 check, king e8, but now c7, and he's threatening the rook. My rook is trapped. In some cases, he might be threatening bishop to c6. Here again, e5 is good. And then knight takes c7. I mean, pieces hanging all over the place. Craziness. So in and over the board game, I would for sure spend quite a bit of time, like right here, deciding whether to take the piece in the first place. And then I'm sure spending time afterwards checking my defenses and seeing if I can get away with the piece. All right. Always hurts to lose in the Scandinavian. Jack, are you referring to the game I just played or the Cavs-Warriors game? For clarification. Hello, Robert. Greetings to you. Who is your favorite chess player, he asks. Favorite chess player of all time or at the moment? I'd say of all time, it's probably Karpov. I very much admire Karpov's style, the way in which he won games. I've learned a lot from chess from Karpov, so I'm going with him. As far as active players, in the same vein, I really like Magnus Carlsen's style. I know that's the boring answer because he's the world champion, but the smooth nature in which he wins a lot of games and his ability to grind down his opponents is something I aspire to. Good luck at the National Open, Silent Chess Fan. Let's get back in here. We cannot stand a single loss. We have to fix our record immediately. I had a decent 3-minute rating, too. I was right around 2450. That's pretty good in this pool. 3-minute pool is tough. I think I normally hover right around 2400 in this pool. All right, Novik is the next opponent. I have to remember to play e4. Let's play a Trempowski. I have to remember to play e4, however. Let's play this line, h4. Do some crazy stuff. Since Shri requested the Scotch Gambit, we must oblige him. Let's see if he wants to trade on d2. If he takes on g5, at least I'll be able to take and claim the open h-file, the half-open h-file against Mr. Novik. Okay, I'm going to let him... should I? Yeah, let's let him take the pawn on b2. So we're just looking to develop. He can go capture this if he wants. We're going to take the center. Lead in development. He's got nothing out. Maybe g6 is a move we'll think about playing in the future. Okay, rook b1. He can just take a2. Nothing doing there, probably. Maybe I get some opportunities with like a check. Let's try this. Let's take here first, though. And then I'm going to play rook b1 and probably bishop b5 check. So I'll give him the a2 pawn. And he says, no, I don't want the a2 pawn. I want c2 instead. All right, fair enough. Okay, so if rook here, queen takes c2, trade, rook takes b7. I like my activity there at the end of that line. Let's go for that. All about the initiative right now. His king is probably going to experience more problems than my king. It's hard for him to get his dark square bishop out. He needs at least 2 moves to do that. Move a pawn, E or G pawn, and then move the dark square bishop into the game. So I want to take b7. I want to get my bishop to b5 and try to punish him. Is he going to castle queenside? That would be kind of crazy, but maybe playable. At any rate, I'm going to do this. Maybe he'll take d4. No, he's going to allow me to play bishop b5 if I want. Okay, let's not think too hard about it. Looks like a good move, so let's just play it. Now knight e5 is a threat. Attacking this pin knight. Also, maybe rook c7 is a good move. I guess you could think about bishop e4 in defense. Since this knight is pinned, I couldn't take him. But I'm starting to gain momentum. Plays bishop d6, ruling out both of those moves. Yeah, good point. But if I castle... Now if he castles, knight c4, hits the bishop, and also should be attacking that knight. My knight's still kind of loose, though. I don't know. Guess we'll find out if that's any good. Okay, yeah, let's do this. If bishop b8, I think knight e5, and I'll still try to pile up on this knight. Bishop e4 is a resource he constantly has, but he's starting to think a little bit, too. Maybe he's unsure how to play. d5, another move I should strongly consider. If the bishop moves back to b8, maybe d5 is even better. Pawn takes, queen takes, and then I'm on the knight on c6 and also the bishop on f5. Ooh, yeah, I like that much more. d5. How are you defending against all those threats? Looks really bad. I'm going to do it. Bad for him, that is. He probably has to take and play bishop e6, bishop takes c6, king f8, and try to recover my knight. But I think I can consolidate my material there. So let's do this next. He's down to 45 seconds. Take, take, bishop e6. Now he's going to castle and just give up the material. Okay. So, any threats to my king? Nah. Take it. Okay, knight d6, take, 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 queen d7. Looks pretty good, but I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to play this move. Knight b6 again. Once more. A decision based mainly on the clock. I'm going to go here next. Look for a trade. He has so little time left. I feel like going into an endgame is entirely justified here. I'm up material in this endgame too. Let's see. Let's do this. 22 seconds for him. If e5, knight e2, trying to attack both bishops. Just go here. We'll let him take g5, I suppose. Well, he doesn't do it. Okay, here I think I can play this move. If bishop takes c2, knight takes c3. Now we have this. Winning too much material. Okay, so we win that game. That's what you have to do when you've sacrificed a pawn and your opponent's king is in the center. You have to play energetically and create compensation for the pawn. And even giving another pawn at some stage may not be a bad decision. And in fact, it could further your initiative. And that's what I was doing with, or what I planned to do when I took on d5. If he had recaptured, so c takes d5, I was going to play rook b1, followed by bishop b5 check. So right here, if take, I'm already down one pawn. So rook b1, win a tempo, he can snatch a2, but then my pieces start getting into the action quickly. And I was seeing stuff like knight c6, knight e5, pressure this pin knight, similar to the game. It looked good. So instead, he ended up trying to bring his pieces out, give the pawn back. But it looks like with me being able to take on b7 and then quickly get the bishop into b5, I think black is in serious trouble here, especially after knight c4. Knight c4 with the idea of d5. This is +3 in white's favor. I thought he might try this line, and now bishop here, but it's mate in 6. Okay, I don't even have to take this and go in for these complications. I could play knight d6. It's nifty. And I suppose if king f8, there's rook takes f7, and if bishop takes, there's queen f7 mate. And if he plays knight d6, bishop takes d6, then queen takes, and we're already threatening queen e7 mate, and he can't castle because we control the f8 square. Queen e7 mate is a threat because the knight is pinned by the bishop on b5. So this is mate in a few moves once black plays some spite moves. So that was a fun game. Very fun game right there. Inball says, that bishop pin was something I would have done. Easy tactical mistake. Thanks, Michael. John, what constitutes the 400-point ELO difference between you and Carlsen? Is it just pure talent or time spent working on chess? What is your opinion about genetic limits on chess ability? It's a combination of both. I think Carlsen is definitely more talented than I am, but I'm positive he's also worked a lot harder than I have. Even though Carlsen has a reputation of being lazy, for him being lazy might be like studying chess 3 hours a day instead of the customary 6 or 7 that a lot of top players seem to do. And I know for a fact he invested a lot of time when he was very young. And that's crucial if you're a chess prodigy and you're trying to become one of the best in the world. Spending those hours while your brain is still developing and you're still a young lad. As far as genetics, I don't know. I don't know that anyone is, or if you can say that certain people are predisposed to being chess talents over other people. I mean, certainly talent comes and goes, but I wouldn't say there's like a category of person, types of people, race, ethnicity, whatever, that are going to be more talented in chess. I would say that Jewish people tend to be overrepresented in top-level chess players, but that's the same for a lot of high-level academic pursuits, and very smart people in general seem to be disproportionately Jewish for possibly genetic reasons. John, what are some of your favorite chess books? That's in the Finn's FAQ, Xander. And I forgot to link that in this one, but I will do that in the future. Oink, oink. At the moment, I'm not going for the GM title. I'm not striving to play tournaments all the time, looking to get my level up. I'm playing tournaments here and there, but not to the exclusion of everything else. John, what do you think of the classic movie Fargo, which was shot in your state? Great movie with the classic wood chipper scene. That's pretty brutal. Yeah, I like it. Unfortunately, we got the stereotype of having the Fargo accent here in Minnesota, which is not really true, as you can tell by me. I don't think I have much of an accent. You guys may disagree. Okay, let's get back in here. And if you're curious, it's currently 10:20 p.m., so some late night chess. I have to issue my customary apology to the Europeans who are always hoping to catch a stream live. I hope you were able to do that with the chess.com qualifier tournament that I streamed about a week ago. This stream, I know I might be leaving you guys out, so sorry for that. Labordene. Okay, so I'm going to play knight f3 on move 2 because I think this is a good way to play against this line. He's going to play d5, I guess. So we have a, what do we have via transposition? A Guimard French. It's not a Guimard, though. It's kind of close to it. Okay, I'm going to play c3 and just put the bishop on d3. Queen d7. Okay, let's just castle. I was thinking about trying to attack on the king side as well, but we'll save that plan for later. Let's go rook e1. I'm going to do a Roy Lopez style maneuver where I bring the knight over to g3. I'm curious if he's going to go castle long. And he does. He confirms that he will be going long. Can I go knight g5? I kind of want to win this pawn. Knight g5, knight g6, queen f3. How do you defend? Let's try it. Looks interesting. This is a caveman-like attack, but how is he defending this pawn? He can play bishop e7 or f6, but this appears to be pretty disastrous, right? I even have knight takes e6 here. Ooh, knight takes e6 must be good in this position. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And now I think I get bishop f5 in very soon, so bishop coming here. Yeah, stick with the knight. And then after bishop f5, play knight e6, which looks downright awful. I mean, he's walking right into a pin. Yeah, he just resigned. So e4, a 12-move win with e4. Guys, why do I not play that move more often? Someone tell me. Because based on games like that, I probably should be. No, I mean, we're not going to draw any conclusions based on one Blitz game, but nice to get a win in there. So if you face knight c6 on move 1 against e4, I do like knight f3 because the best that black really has, in my opinion, is e5, taking play into a double king pawn opening again. Black could play d5, but that's an inferior line of the Scandi. I don't often recommend putting the knight on c6 with the pawn on c7 in the Scandi. So usually black plays e5. My opponent played it in inventive fashion with this e6 d5 setup. So we get into an advanced French where black has trouble getting the pawn up to c5 and undermining white's center. So he played creatively, but after queen f3, there's just this concrete problem, how to defend f7, and his position went rapidly downhill. I think he should play bishop e7 here, so that if knight takes f7, he can pin me, play rook to f8, but if bishop e7, I was planning queen takes f7, and I think that's still great. Then I'm on the e6 pawn. John, my friend Anna would like you to know she is one of the few female viewers. Awesome. I'm glad to have female viewers on this stream. I think I told you guys my YouTube stats, because you can check all this in YouTube. It's 97% male. And I think that's a shame. We got to encourage more female participation in chess, even if it's on a small level, like just watching a chess stream. So I really hope that more women tune into my channel and play chess in general. Hello, the Queen's Conqueror. Thank you for making it. You are not too late. We started like 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago. Hey, Lotzi, how's it going? Glad you made it. And Rick as well. Are there any merits to weird openings like the Grop and the Polish, or are they just waste of time? You're not going to get better playing those openings. The only merit to them is catching occasional opponents in certain traps, but I can't recommend those openings. Let's get back in there. Right back in the action. I'm over 2450, thanks to these last two games. Glad to hear that. Can't quite see your name. Shobit. He said he's been following the chess fundamentals and the climbing the rating ladder videos and getting better as a result. Thanks, Austin. Oh, by the way, while I have your guys' attention, I just recorded a interview for a podcast. It's called 3 Moves Ahead is the name of the podcast. And it deals with games. So board games and also computer games. And that interview should be coming out either tonight or tomorrow on their website. So I will link you guys. I'll probably put it up on Twitter. Might even make a video linking it to you guys. We spent about an hour talking about all sorts of chess topics. Me and the guy who was conducting the interview, his name is Michael, and he also watches the channel. So it was a lot of fun and just kind of riffed on a number of different chess topics. Okay, practice. Do I know this player? Oh, he disconnected and forfeited. I think I know who this player is. But we're not going to get a game, so this is a friend of mine. But that's too bad. He logged off immediately. There should be more chess podcasts, right? It might be kind of hard to do because obviously chess is closely tied to the board, seeing the board and the position or the game or whatnot. I think it would be great. If I ever have more time, I want to try to make like a regular show and maybe make it like podcast style, just talking about various happenings in the chess world. Maybe enlist the help of someone else, like someone who's known in the YouTube and Twitch community, and see if we can kind of kick around a number of topics. I know chess.com does this with their Chess Center feature, but in my mind, it would be a little bit different. It'd be more like a talk show versus a rundown of various topics where with Chess Center, they don't seem to have too much time to devote to any one topic because they're trying to cover so much. But I think with a good chess podcast or a good chess show, you can just dedicate a show to a particular topic, have 2 hosts, and just kind of go back and forth and just talk chess for a while. Grandmaster Mimosa is next. Let's play a Sicilian. I'm going to go with a con again. Queen e2. All right, so I'm not too familiar with this, but usually they play g3, bishop g2 out of this setup, so I will try to feel my way through the position. Let's put this knight on e7, get ready to castle short. So black usually plays on the queen side in this line. He's gearing up for this move. So do I want to address that? I don't know. b5, d4, tick, tick. Not sure about that. But I want to play a useful move too. You know what? I'm going to play d5. I'm going to switch up my strategy a little bit. I know I waste some time with this move, but I feel like it might be all right. Switching it up a bit. Okay, let's pull the bishop out here. Threaten some stuff on the d3 pawn. Not yet, but in the future. Okay, knight takes or queen takes. Or even pawn takes. Let's go with pawn takes. Queen takes would be kind of crazy. I don't know why I even mentioned that move. Okay, let's do this. Line up against his queen. I'm liking my central control, for sure. Let's play knight f5. Maybe knight d6 coming up is helpful. I could see him potentially trying to play bishop h3 if my queen is on d7, looking to pin me. So bishop f4 is his reply. Knight e5 or queen d7. Queen d7, he can do that pin that I just mentioned. Let's go knight e5. I'm going to try to simplify the position slightly. I don't like that bishop peering into my position. That wasn't looking nice. It'd be cool to sack on h4. I wonder if I'm ever justified in playing that. Knight takes h4, pawn takes. Just going after his king. Looks kind of crazy in the given position. Could be an idea in the future. Okay, so let's take and then play queen d7. Then I'm going to attempt to attack that pawn on b5 and maybe double up my rooks on the e file as well. He's thinking for a little while. Welcome to the stream, Z Steven. Good to have you. Ah, he wants to open the file. Okay. So rook c8, queen a4, most likely. Guess I should play here. Yeah, trying to defend the c6 square. I don't know if allowing queen c6 is a good idea. Against this, I was thinking here. Got a lot of stuff on light squares, and he has a light square bishop, but at least I'm staying active. Okay, he takes. Let's recapture here. I know he can maybe play queen c6, but I do have rook c8. Ooh, rook c8 with tempo here. Coming into c2. Watch out, Mr. Mimosa. I might attack you. Okay, rook c2, rook here. Oh, I've got so much pressure on the back rank. Rook c2, rook here. Where's my breakthrough? Rook e2 is a bit slow. Rook takes a7. So probably I should play this one first. Let's do that. Yeah, and he plays that. That's expected. So the problem is this is always hanging. I got to do something, so I'm going to play this. Not quite sure what to play. Okay, let's bring this back. Then we're going to go here. Time is not on my side right now. Go after this b pawn. Also, the other b pawn's attacked. Let's bring this up. Got to be careful if he coordinates his rooks on the 7th rank, although that's tough to do at the in the present position. Okay, I'm going to take that. And as I said that, lo and behold, what happens? He manages to coordinate. Okay, so we'll find out what happens here. I got to watch out for back rank threats at all times. Let's get these lined up. I'm going to push the d pawn now. Let's just do this next move. Bring this up. Okay, we're going to push that. Guess we'll go here. He can just push h7. I was thinking I had checked, but that's not the case. All right, time to resign. Well, I felt good about that ending, the heavy piece endgame, but I couldn't figure it out right here. After I played rook e2 and he played rook f1. Rook c2 is totally consistent, but he takes a7. Maybe I can allow queen f8, but I doubt it. Rook c2, rook takes a7, rook takes f2, rook a8 check, king g7, queen f8. I think I'm just losing. King f6, queen h8 checkmate, or close to it. I guess I have e7. So what's the best move there? Let's go take a look at the history. Eric wants to play. Is that Eric Hansen? That's not his usual account, right? I don't think Eric Hansen is 1300 in bullet and, yeah, 1292 in 3 minute. So I think that's an impersonator, an imposter. Okay, let's take a look at that game. I want to focus exclusively on that position where I face the tough decision. So right here, queen c6. I suspect he missed that I can play rook c8 with tempo against his queen right here. So let's add in the engine. So he goes queen d6, and I played this. So rook c2 was the move I was originally going to play, but then I started looking at this pawn. Rook f1, and now king g7, a prophylactic move. Really? King g7, just allow rook takes a7, and then do this. Okay, and if rook a8, king h6. Yeah, that's pretty deep for a short time control. Trying to run with the king, taking the sting out of queen f8. So the problem I was illustrating is if rook takes f2, then I think this is just winning for white. Yeah, he runs my king out, and now I'm about to get harassed on the e-file. Like, if king here, I'm sure there's mate somewhere pretty soon. my king has no shelter, and I'm not quite going to get at his king. So it's a matter of like one tempo, but burned up a lot of time and did not find the solution. I played rook e2, rook f1, queen here, and this endgame's equal, but not only did he outplay me, but also I was behind on the clock. Yeah, this was a good decision by him. Rook c2, giving up the d-pawn, but activating his rooks, and the scenario that I feared happened, where he doubles up and attacks the pawn on f7. So, nicely played. People are talking French in the chat, which is completely fine, of course. I was in the best 3. I doubt that for 3-minute. Oh, best of the 3-minute, yeah. I thought you meant like top 3. So I got to get back on the best list. Hi, John. I have my first tournament coming up in a few weeks. An hour and 30 minutes plus 30-second time control. Oh, Squash Addict, you are Eric Hansen. Got it. Yeah, Squash Addict, if you stick around, I'll play you one right at the end. I'm going to play a few games, but I'll play you right at the end. So the person who asked about their tournament coming up, I don't know if you said if it's your first tournament or not, but I would say don't rush your moves. That's a lot of time to think, an hour and 30 minutes with a 30-second increment. That's probably more time than you're ever used to having in a game, because online, a fast time control is maybe 15 minutes per side, or a slow time control is 15 minutes per side. So use your time wisely. Don't feel at all rushed in your decision making. It'll probably take you a little while to get the mechanics down of just like writing your moves. But have fun. That's the main thing when you're going out there. Just have a good time. Arson, I probably won't play 5-minute games this time. I like the 3-minute games. They're a little peppier for streams. John, been playing any Gambit lines? Nope, not lately. Z Steven, I don't know. I don't want to open it up to too many challenges, just in the interest of time. But someday you and I will play Z Steven. I promise you. I'm a slippery guy, says Chris, to catch with the streams. Yeah, you have to be Johnny on the spot to tune in for a stream. Like this one, I didn't give that much notice. It was only a 10-minute warning. But that's how a lot of these streams are going to be. I just have to do them when I find time. And the bigger events, I always put out an announcement video. Try to give you guys a heads up. Let's get right back in there. Sauerkraut again. Let's play e4 this time. What can we throw at him in the Sicilian? Let's play an open Sicilian. I don't really remember what he does in the open Sicilian, so we'll just play a accelerated dragon on the white side. Bishop c4 is correct here, and now bishop b3. It's been a long while since I've studied the theory in this line. Okay, I'm going to castle. I'm going to allow him to play this a4 idea, but he does not. Okay, let's play f3 then. Now, I know that a4 is often a common reaction. I'm just going to play it. There's some downsides to playing a4, but I'm going to do it anyways. Like black can try to use the b4 square, for instance. So let's maneuver this knight. Probably knight d7 will be the answer. I'm going to take and then check. And bring this rook over. He could play queen b6 and try to play an endgame. I have trouble against Sauerkraut. This guy's good. I've often faced him in various time controls, and he's always difficult. Bullet, he's pretty good. I think he's a little underrated right now. Let's play b3, just solidifying. If he takes on d5, I will, of course, take with a pawn. I don't want to allow any discoveries against my king. So there might be a standoff going on between the two bishops. I think rook d2 is sensible. But I also feel like I should hide my king. Let's play rook d2. I have to watch e5 as well. e5 is a move that could spoil my day. Just played this. Hoping that after a trade, knight takes, bishop takes, I can attack the pawn on e7. Not sure how good that is, but that's what I went with. Rook c7. He's content to wait as well. Let's bring the king over. Now he's going with the trade. Intriguing timing there. Knight e6 does not work at all. c4 maybe. c4 weakens some squares. I'm not sure about that. Bishop c4 does not work. Maybe f4. Let's try it. I feel like I need to enforce a breakthrough or somehow use my rooks on the D&E files in the center. So he brings the knight over. Okay, so let's try to create some open lines in the middle. I expect him to play d5 and try to keep things closed, but again, I have to use the inertia of my rooks placed in the middle. Let's go f5 now. Create counterplay. That's the name of the game. He's going to allow me to play this with tempo, but it's probably fine for him. Maybe e6 next if given the chance. Or f6. If he plays like rook b7, f6 looks pretty good. But then he can ignore it, can't he? Let's try it anyways. So the point is he can't play e6 or take because of knight d6. E6. E6 take there. Okay, I'm going to try it. This looks kind of weird, but it might work. Just barreling through the middle. I know I'm taking this concept to the extreme, but I am going to pre-move this because now I win here, right? Just win a rook, I think. Knight d6, fork the two rooks. I win the exchange, rather. Check. Let's bring this up. Okay, this could be a little harder than I thought. Let's play the pawn up. We're going to go here. Let's bring this over. Not really attacking this pawn, though. That was a weak move I just played. I think I should have played rook b8 instead. I'm going to try to correct that. Go after this a pawn instead. Okay. It could be tough to stop this guy. We'll see. Okay, gotta go here. Yeah, he's gonna win, I think. I can't get my rook over in time to help out. Yeah, I can't control this square. Okay, resigns time. So, knight d6, I won an exchange, but I didn't win the game. Knight d6, take. And it was hard because his knight controls some territory. It's guarding the d5 pawn. I couldn't get over to a8 or even to c8 to attack the c5 pawn or the a5 pawn. So I had trouble. Sauerkraut gets me again. Nevertheless, I think my strategy of trying to push the e and the f pawns was probably the correct strategy in that case, especially for a fast time control game. Even if it didn't work out, I was able to create some problems by opening lines. If I had sat back here, I feel like he's going to make some strides on the queen side and in the center too. So I'm at 24-19, took a rating hit there from Sauerkraut again. Hey John, can you do more of those climbing the rating ladder videos for the range 2,000 to 2,200? I'm getting crushed by players in that range on chess.com. I will work my way up to that. Yes, Gary. I will. Although I'll say the issues you might have as a player in that rating range are probably pretty specific to you, as opposed to someone who's maybe 500 points lower rated than you. So it's a little harder to generalize about what type of errors you're making at that level, because you're a good player clearly if you're above 2,000. So you might be getting specific. You might be encountering specific problems versus general ones. Congratulations, Travis. Those are good results for sure. Hey, John, do you prefer chess OTB or online? I like both. I don't have a clear preference. I love the feeling of sitting at the board and creating something and having that tactile feedback from being able to move the pieces, especially when you're playing with a nice chess set, like a nice wood set. That's a great feeling. And it's cool when you're in tournaments and especially sometimes with these higher tournaments, higher level opens and whatnot, they'll actually have your name next to the board and you feel all cool like walking up and like taking a seat next to a grandmaster and your name is there. It's always fun. But 95% of my play, probably more like 98 or 99%, is online these days. And I do enjoy playing online too. Tiago, my next tournament is in August, unless I play something before then. It's just a local tournament. Twin Ports Open in Duluth, Minnesota, if you're in the area and want to play that tournament. It's a great tournament. Let's get back in here. We have 237 viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in to a late night stream. Nice job, Larry. Keep going. Keep beating those 1400s. Beating anyone 300 rating points higher than yourself is awesome. I didn't know that the Grand Chess Tour Rapid and Blitz was tomorrow, Parg. That makes sense, given that I think the opening ceremony was today. Oh, thank you, Charlotte Chess Center. Yeah. Shout out to Peter Giannatos, the head of the Charlotte Chess Center. He's a great guy, and if you're on the East Coast, and especially in North Carolina, you should go check out that club because it's fantastic. It's basically like the St. Louis Chess Club of the East Coast, I would venture to say. I don't think that's an exaggeration. So go check it out. And I'm teaching a camp there in August. Okay, I'm going to play the bishop out here. All right, I'm going to do something kind of funky. I have a good record against Berber. I feel like this is an opponent I should beat, even though he is a grandmaster and obviously very strong. Okay, e5, can I do it? He's going to take here, so probably not. So let's play d5 instead. Queen's Conqueror, I am not playing a lot of GM Norm tournaments at the moment, but I'm always looking to improve. So even if I'm not actively playing for GM, I'll be thinking about that. I always am thinking about that, whether I want to go for it. Knight c7, so he's maneuvering. Probably wants to get in b5 sometime soon. I would like to get in e5. I wonder if I can play e5 right now. Looks somewhat unsound to do it right here. You know, I'm going to try it. So my point is if he takes, I have d6, hitting the knight and the pawn. So I know he can take d5, but I was thinking knight takes, bishop takes, take d6, and seeing what happens. It's a messy position. I'm not sure who's coming out on top there. Yeah, f6. So I can take here and then play bishop h4. Or maybe bishop h4 right away. Let's do that. And if he takes, I'll play knight c4. That's the plan. And try to gain this pawn back after he moves his bishop somewhere. That's a little more subtle than the capture on e7 idea. Let's pre-move this capture. So if he captures on c4 and then plays king h8, I can take d6, again regaining the pawn. I feel like with the two bishops in the open board, I should be better. Okay, so he goes there instead. Probably still take this way. Just bring our rook behind. I want to play bishop f3, but I've got this hanging knight to deal with. What now? I'm just going to do this. Play a useful move. So if he takes, knight takes, and at least my knight joins the action with tempo. Plays b5. Probably a good move. Knight a5, I'm thinking. Yeah, let's try knight a5. Now he's got to watch out for rook takes e6 ideas. If he takes a4, that would just, I think, almost win. Rook takes e6, bishop c4. Attacking this pawn. Not quite sure what to do. Okay, I'm going to take. I think this works out. Because my rook on e1 is defended by the bishop. That's crucial. Now if he takes on e1, bishop takes, and I'm defending the knight. It's a lot to take in tactically, though. I might be missing something. That shows you how difficult the 3-minute pool is. This Grandmaster is not even 2,200 in this pool. It's not like he's a weak player. Okay, so I'm a pawn. I need to keep that pawn. So let's do this. He's going to get his knight into d4 and cause some trouble. Ooh, this could get nasty. Rook a1. Yeah, I'm allowing a lot of counterplay. Check. Hopefully he'll play... Okay, he does that. Let's get this out now. I want to go bishop to c3. And then, let's say here, trying to attack this pawn. Undermine that c5 pawn. It's a weird position. Not sure what's going on. Let's take that. Let's give it a check. Check. Let's win this pawn. I'm going to let him take that, of course. Probably go after the g6 pawn if I can. So let's do this. You can have this. Don't really care about that. I want to go knight g5. Try to swap. He has no time left. Okay, so we managed the tactical complications pretty well. The position sharpened up considerably when I decided to play e5, this pawn breakthrough in the center. I've been playing directly tonight. This breakthrough reminds me of that game with Sauerkraut just a moment ago. So e5, idea being if he takes on e5, so d takes e5, I have that d6 motif, attacking the knight and also the pawn on e7. So I have a space advantage here, and if you have a space advantage, at some point you're going to look to capitalize on it. I could keep maneuvering, but the way that black is maneuvering, I saw that it looked like they were trying to go for b5, trying to strike on the queen side. And often in these Benoni-esque positions, it's a race between black developing counterplay on the wings and white trying to enforce a central breakthrough like e5. So that's why I went with that. I think people in the chat are talking about Viktor Korchnoi, Grandmaster Korchnoi, who died recently at age 85. I posted a tribute video to him, just a small tribute video, a couple days ago, featuring his game, one of his games against Bobby Fischer that he won with the black pieces. John, is watching this good preparation for the Tasmanian Championship starting tomorrow? No, I can't claim any responsibility for your preparation in the Tasmanian Championship, Squash Addict. I'm sorry. But you should leave a comment on this video and tell me how you did. Or send me a tweet. Oh, thank you, Alizy. A fan from Russia. Don't have too many of those. Again, YouTube stat says Russians do not watch my chess videos very much. I presume your channel has mostly, and we always see you beating GMs, and obviously regard you as strong since we watch. So all think you can get GM. What do your contemporaries think? Oh, so asking if my peers think I could become a GM. I have had people tell me that before, that I'm fully capable of doing it, and I do believe I could become a GM as well. But as with anything in life, it comes down to work, right? And right now, I'm not doing the work. I don't feel I'm putting in the work to become a GM. I'm not playing at GM caliber right now, and I need to improve my level to do that. Maro is hoping for El Pastor, which is e4, e5, queen h5. He's been asking about this obsessively. Okay, so I had a request for the Scotch game and also El Pastor. So I better play another game or two to even have a chance at doing this. I opened with e4 this game, but my opponent did not play e5. If they don't play e5, it's hard to justify bringing your queen out to h5 sometimes. Brett, I've been playing e4. I think this was my second game with e4 this stream. Yeah, I might do that sometime, Paul. Make a video showing the YouTube stats. It's very interesting. YouTube collects info on all sorts of stuff about you guys. I mean, I don't like know your names or anything, but just the way they break down the stats is real intriguing. I can also see like from what countries I get the most likes and dislikes on my videos, which is interesting. Apparently, Austrians do not like me very much. I get a disproportionate number of dislikes from Austria. So whatever I did to Austria, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you guys. Okay, we're playing Sauerkraut again. And he's just had our number tonight. He's beaten us numerous times. We need to turn this around. Hopefully this will be the game where we do so. Okay, knight h3. So he's going to bring the knight here and defend the pawn. Yeah, it's intriguing. Okay, now he retreats the queen. So knight b6, knight here. Okay, I'm going to do this anyways. Let's play bishop f5 now. Aggressive. Very aggressive from Mr. Sauerkraut. If h5, I'm going to play g5, I think. That's the plan. What now? Let's go knight e4. We'll see how this pans out. So if knight takes, bishop takes, I've got another attacker on d5. Your name is Finns. I think Austria thinks you're from Finland. Do they have something against Finnish people as well? We've got Sauerkraut thinking a little bit. Perhaps the Austrians were hired by Chess Explained to sabotage the channel. No, I'm sure Christoph would never do that. Christoph is a very principled and honest fellow. Okay, Sauerkraut finally plays bishop e3. Yeah, I'm still faced with this difficulty of getting the pawn back. I was attacking d4, but he defended against that. Take, queen c7. Not quite cutting it. Let's try. Actually, I'm just kind of torn here. My thoughts are going all over the place. Okay, let's do this. Angling for the c4 square. I don't know about this plan, but I have to do something. Let's keep going. I'll let him take here if he wants, opening up the file. He's a long way from getting his queen over to h3, let's say, and checkmating me, so I hope this doesn't have too big of a detrimental impact. Okay. Better play a5. I'm playing too slow again. Stop him from playing a5. It's complicated. I'm the one who's down the pawn, so I'm on edge, but the position is very sharp. Let's bring this back. Knight b5. Knight b5. Okay, I'm going to take that. I think queen here is appropriate. So some ideas with bishop takes d4 in the future, although bishop takes d4, rook h8 mate is a good counter argument to what I just said. Yeah, it's going to get interesting here in a second. Let's play this in. I want to go bombs away on e3. I'm strongly considering doing that. I think I can get away with it too. Yeah, like if king f2, okay, so he defends against that. Bishop takes d4. Let's do this. This looks really fun. I'm going to try it. Not sure if it's sound or not, but I have a strong dark square bishop, and his king is stuck in the middle of the board. Let's give it a check. Knight g2 he maybe has to play. Go after this pawn. Go take this guy. Rook c3 now a threat. You know, with this king in the middle of the board, it's just really hard for him to do anything. I feel like he's on pins and needles here. I'll go rook b4 maybe. Let's bring this over. Rook c3 now looking to play. Rook d4 coming. Go after his knight. I hung my bishop somewhere there, but I don't think it matters much. Yeah, he just has no time, basically. Okay, so we win a time scramble against Sauerkraut. Crazy game, crazy sacrifice that I made with knight takes e3. I probably have some calmer means of playing this position, but that was a practical determination. Getting 2 pawns for the piece, a monster dark square bishop, and his king is in jeopardy all the time from this point forward. He has this open h-file, but it's hard for him to land a blow down the h-file. Realistically, he can only do it if he coordinates like his queen and his rook or gets doubled with his rooks there. So we finally break the Sauerkraut curse. Hey, Jacob. Glad you could catch a stream there. Yeah, he's tough, Michael. I agree. Sauerkraut is an excellent opponent. I don't do that, Kiris. I don't listen to music while I play, mainly for copyright reasons. I don't want to infringe on anyone's copyright. There are clear issues with that, especially if you're uploading well-known pieces of music into your streams. I know there's a lot of like free music out there. Maybe I could put on some classical or something. I'm not really into a lot of like the EDM type stuff, house music, that sort of stuff that you see in a lot of the streams. I'm not into that stuff. I like classic rock a lot. I'd love to put on some classic rock sometime, but virtually everything is copyright protected. Is this stream just for Aussies? Perfect timing for us. I'll remember that, Squash Addict. Brett says hello from Canada. Maybe a Halloween Gambit. We've got all these E4 Gambit requests. I'm going to play maybe 1 or 2 more games, and Squash Addict and I are going to play, and I'm going to shut it down for the night after that, guys. Okay, Daro 94. I got to win with the Scandi. We got to do it. I'll play the specialty line where you bring your queen out to d5 anyways. You insist on playing the main line Scandi. Who is Daro 94? I'm not familiar with this player. Oh, Darius Swiertz. This guy's very strong. Like closing in on 2,700 strong. Wow. Serious opponent right here. Excellent young Polish player. I'll try to remember how to play this line. Yeah, this line can be theoretically difficult for black, by the way. As Niklas Huschenbett demonstrated in one of our matches recently. Although I actually won that game, it was not simple. It was not a trivial thing. So oftentimes they play queen h3 here, and I'm going to put the bishop on g7 so that if knight takes, I can take back with the h-pawn. That's the point of this. Okay, so taking here looks pretty risky. I probably shouldn't do that. Let's play this. There's a possibility he'll play g3, bishop f4 in the future, but for now, let's just castle queenside. Maybe I should go for c5. c5 could be good timing sometime soon, but probably not here, I would say. Maybe bishop f6. Let's do that. Harass his queen. He wants a trade. Okay. We'll trade because I can play bishop h5 and try to get rid of my bishop. And he's going to let us take. I'm going to do that. And probably maneuver my knight over to the king side. Yeah, let's play it like this. So knight g6 coming up. I like playing against these double pawns. This is a nice situation in the Scandi. If I can keep the center closed, I'll be in good shape. Trust me. So if he can organize c4 and d5, though, and try to open things, well, then it gets a little hairier. But, I mean, now, like, I always have knight h4 attacking the pawn on f3. Maybe I'll preface that with rook g8, rook h g8. So he's going to bring his king over. c5, maybe? Nah, it doesn't seem to do anything. I'm just going to play this move. This bishop might experience some problems, huh? Yeah, like, now I can do this, knight g2 being an option, rook g6 being threatened. I'd like to trade those bishops. But then again, maybe I should play to trap his bishop. I don't know. Now I'm going to trade him. I'm kind of worried he's going to organize this, but we'll see. So let's do this. He's being stubborn. Okay, now if he doubles, I have f4. Is my thinking here. Although then he could play rook g4, so I'm not quite sure about that even. Okay, so he's going to do this. Rook h5 could put me in some difficulties. Now I'm going to try it, though. I don't want him to win the h6 pawn for free. So we got these rooks like opposing each other on the file, kind of weird. Now if rook g3, I'll play here. Okay, so let's lock in his rook over here. The thing is, two of my pieces are locked in, so I don't know how this is gonna turn out. Let's do this, and I'll try to play knight g6 and get myself free. I have 40 seconds. Could play bishop c2 maybe. No, let's just do it this way. Ah, very clever. Rook takes e6. Okay, that's a little trap set by him. Rook takes h3, rook takes e6. These guys, man. These players are tough. f5, not really working. Let's just bring the king up. Tense game. Very tense. Want this to attack this pawn. He could play bishop b3. I'll have to pull the rook back here. I'm going to offer a draw because this is... Yeah, this is pretty close. I had a little less time than him, so it could be kind of a crapshoot at the end. Not sure what's going on in the final position, but we had a repetition. If I try to take on f3 in this position, I would lose my rook. And I don't know. Maybe if I had more time, I could figure out a way to make progress, but undeniably the pawn on e6 is weak. So with this rook and his bishop attacking it, I don't know how to proceed. Let's see what the engine thinks about this final position. Gives a tiny, tiny edge to black, virtually equal. Okay, I could sense his strength there in the endgame as we were playing that. So even though I was able to inflict this structural damage on him, he defended tenaciously, came up with some clever stuff like rook g3. That's a nice move right there. He's saying, I'm okay with trading rooks, but we have to do it on my terms. And if you take me, I get to take back with one of my pawns and improve my pawn structure as a result. Good players never give you anything easily. And you might be happy to make certain trades, but often good players they're leeching, they're drawing like small concessions out of you in the process. And that's what a move like rook g3 was doing. This was tricky. That was a really devious trap that he set with h3. Because it would be so easy just to snatch this pawn. I thought for a second he had blundered, but yeah, rook takes e6 is his plan. That might be okay for me, but as you can see, rook takes e6, f takes e6, bishop takes e6, check, forks the king and the rook. So, cool game. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. I think that was well played by both sides. Okay, I'm going to play one more game, guys, and then Squash Addict, you're up. Being an Aussie who has been a consistent supporter of the stream and a owner of the only Team Scandy shirt in existence, which Squash Addict made himself. He posted the picture of it on Twitter. So I think that deserves a game. And he has an account called Eric Hansen, which is kind of funny in and of itself. All right, last game. Ooh, and we're playing Saya, a really tough opponent. Let's go with e4. I think he plays... Does he play French defense? Nope. Something else. All right, Saya is just a tough-as-nails opponent. We battled in 1 minute so many times. We're probably about even at that time control. I don't know that one of us has a big edge over the other. I'm playing the bishop g5 Najdorf, but I don't remember a whole lot in this particular line. I'm going to play it in inventive fashion. We'll play queen f3 without the pawn coming up to f4. Just see what that leads to. It's castle. Kind of feel like playing a quick knight d5 or something too. Let's do that. Let's take and then play knight d5. Encouraging a swap. Trying to end up with a pawn on this square. Maybe attack down the e-file. Something to that effect. He's going to go for a fianchetto, it looks like. So let's do this. Knight e6 seems too crazy. I don't think I can honestly play that move, so let's do this. Maybe queen c5 was good there by him. All right, I'm just going to centralize. Keep it nice and easy. Attack this pawn. Does get that dark square bishop, though. I've surrendered my bishop on f6, possibly to the detriment of my position. We'll see. Knight f5, not working because I lose on b2. I got to do this. He might just want to play an endgame. Yeah. Let's play the king over so bishop g5 doesn't win for him. Let's maneuver this. I'd like to play knight e4. Attack that bishop. He's got the long-term weakness on e7, but he has the bishop pair to compensate for it. All in all, I wouldn't mind being black in this position. Yeah, my light square bishop is also a pretty bad piece here. Let's play f4. Just try to get at e7. I'm having to work pretty hard to find good squares for my pieces. Okay, let's do this. Just improve our setup a little bit. Not sure rook d8 was great by him. I mean, now we can send our a-pawn up the board. Try to use that to our advantage. I'm going to play b4 too. Expand a little bit. Ah, I missed that move. Completely missed that one. I got to go b5, but he takes here now. Yeah. I got too aggressive with b4. That move backfired quickly. Another strong move right there. Ooh, that's going to turn out poorly. Guess I got to play that move, as ugly as it looks. Yeah, now he's killing me with the two bishops. Let's do this. I'm also down on the clock, too. Go attack his bishop again. Try for something. Bishop a5, take a6, and see what happens. Might be our best bet, but losing d5 would be a big loss. Maybe I had bishop takes f5 in that case. I've had worse positions. Let's put it that way. Rook e7 is, or rook e3 rather, is an idea now. Let's play c4 first, try to stabilize things. He might want to go e6. Let's go here, I guess. I can hope for some rook e6 business. Okay, let's come over here. Desperately trying to keep my position intact, but it's not easy right now. He's going to put his bishop on e4. His bishops are monstrous. He could take d5, but I didn't really see what to play there. Let's try to get in a rook f8 check, I suppose. Yeah, he can just offer a trade, rook g4. Let's march our king in, actually. That might be the one plan we have at our disposal here. Trying to march the king in. Take that. Okay, this is looking a little weird now. All of a sudden. I'm going to go for the flag. Or not the flag, the pawn here. The draw, I meant. Okay, I'm happy to draw that game. It was probably a win at the end, but the only thing that was going through my mind was eliminate all his pawns so I at least get a half point. Saya was handily outplaying us that game. He had the two bishops, and probably my opening conception was not that great. I think right around here, this is a good example of the power of the two bishops. Right around here, I'm fully coordinated. I'm castled. I have all my pieces in the game. My rooks occupy central files, but I'm worse. At least I think I'm worse. Let's just confirm with the engine. Because that dark square bishop has no opponent. There's no dark square bishop that I can throw in his way. And as a result, black has almost free reign over that diagonal. Also, I don't have any clear pawn breaks. And when you have few or no pawn breaks, you're often struggling to find a plan. So, yeah, I don't like this position for me one bit. And then I got overextended when I played b4, and he jumped on that with bishop c3. He just didn't finish me off from here. I'm sure there were some better ways to do this, but I kept hanging around, and got kind of lucky to find king a5 to b6 towards the end. Yeah, I see that evaluation was slipping away if not for that. And was even winning, but no time. So, happy with the draw. Yeah, sorry I didn't get in Al Pastor, Maro. I'll try next time. I'll try again next time. Okay, Squash Addict, are you ready? You ready for our battle? Now, Squash Addict, which opening do you want to play? Or should I just play whatever I like? Hopefully he's still there. Let's check. So go ahead and challenge me, Squash Addict, or I can challenge you. I don't know what time control you want to play, 3 or 5 minutes, maybe. X Delcan, you are noticed. You are hereby noticed. I see a couple people asking for a Facebook page. I really should add that. I want to expand on social media, promoting the channel and whatnot, so I probably will play, or not play, I'll probably implement a Facebook page at some point and let you guys know about it. So you will play the Scandi, Squash Addict. So you want me to play e4. Yeah, 5-0 is completely fine. Let's play that. Here, I'll just match you. So, white against Squash Addict. Final game of the evening. Me versus the Aussie. And he wants to play the Scandi. All right, let's see how it goes. Show me what you got. What have you learned from my games? Let's play bishop c4. I'm going to delay my d-pawn for a moment. I want to see if I can get him to blunder. He didn't, though. Bishop g4 is a typical mistake, but he didn't blunder into that. Okay, let's pull this back. So Squash Addict expanding on the queen side. Very nice. I approve. Bishop out to b4. Okay. I think I'm okay with a trade if he wants to make a trade here. So let's send this up to e5 and see how he reacts to that. I see some ideas he might consider. They're all rooting for you in the chat, Squash Addict. Jacob, this is a separate rating category than the like 2,500, 2,400 rating that you usually see me hanging around with in my Blitz videos. That's the 5-minute pool rating. This is the actual Blitz time control rating. And as you can see, it's inflated. I'm not a 3,000 level player. G5. So Squash Addict is lashing out. But he's got some problems with his pawns now, and his king might be stuck in the center. Because castling would be gutsy in view of the structural damage at this stage. Hello, Bomb Donald. XD Kellen, yeah. Glad you were able to make a stream. Knight b6. Okay, good move. I like that. Control some key squares like c4 and a4. That makes sense. I would like to open the position, but I have to be careful about how I do it. So, I'm thinking about getting real fancy here. I don't know, though. I'm just staring at his king. I want to sacrifice something and try to open lines to his king, but I don't know if it's justified. Like knight takes f7, knight g6. Both those moves come into consideration. c4 I'm thinking about. Don't really like c4, though. F4 maybe. Let's go queen. Let's go knight to G4. So withdrawing the knight from the center, looking for a swap. Maybe with the intention of bringing my bishop to E5, trying to skewer his knight to the rook. So if he plays like knight BD5, I might play bishop E5. Not quite yet, guitar player, bruh. Knight H5. Okay, so do I continue bishop E5? Probably. Yeah, let's do it. And where does this rook go? That's the million-dollar question, because if rook G8, I have knight takes H6, attacking the rook, also hitting the knight on H5. If F6, I think he's going to run into bishop G6 check. So this is where the weakening of black's king could come back to haunt him with H6 and G5. The real MVP, that is a trophy that I won in a tournament. I won that at the 2015 Minnesota Open. It was the trophy for first place. There's a little nameplate on it, too. It's not as big as it looks back there. I probably should not have said that. Someone's going to give me crap for that. Okay, rook F8. Knight takes H6 now. Yeah, I think it's fine. Because how does he save the knight? Knight F6 seems almost forced, but then black's really struggling. Queen needs to stay tied to the defense of the knight. Craig Freeze, I've been playing since I was in second grade, so roughly 8 years old. Okay, is it time to go to Sacktown, as someone advocated? He's attacking the pawn on G2. So bishop takes. I almost want to go rook takes after that, but again, not sound whatsoever. Maybe take queen G4 is the way to go. There's also queen H5, but I like the look of queen G4. So let's take to start and ask questions in a second. Yeah, I think queen G4 is looking good. Maybe he has queen F6. Queen H5 could be more dangerous for squash. I'm torn once again. There's even knight F5 here. Knight F5. Although I'm not sure what I'm threatening with that. Probably nothing. Let's go queen H5. So threatening rook takes E6. I have to watch my time. I'm down like 15 seconds. He says in the chat, don't sack on E6, please. So I guess I'm not allowed to do that. But I really want to. I'm going to do this. You're not going to like this, Squash Addict. Squash Addict is playing a simul. He's playing Eric Hansen as well. That's impressive. Okay, so here's my chess joke. The spear. What is the most explosive chess opening? And I'm sorry, Squash Addict, I got to do this. It's forced. So again, to repeat that joke. What is the most explosive chess opening? This is not a great joke anyways, but I'm going to tell it anyways. So Squash Addict must capture on e6 with the queen and then knight g7. Yes, a few people had it. It's c4. c4 is the most explosive chess opening. And if you don't get it, then you didn't play enough GoldenEye as a kid on N64. Okay, we've got him on the run. We're up a lot of material. I'm almost mating him, but not quite. Let's give one more check. Just see where he goes. I'm going to take now. And then give another check. Skewer the king and the rook. And let's gather some pawns now. I'm sorry I had to go against your wishes, Squash Addict, and sacrifice on e6, but I can't play the position without sacrificing on e6. It wasn't really possible. So it was morally forced. I was obligated to make that sacrifice. And I'm deeply sorry. Let's go pick up that knight. I'm going to leave him one pawn just so I don't stalemate him. Curtail any stalemate ambitions. Yeah, and Squash Addict loses on time. So key moment in the game was when I played queen h5. So your position looks sketchy here, but I wonder if you can play queen d5 right now. So right after I play queen h5. Queen d5, that attacks my queen and also threatens queen takes g2 mate. So it might force me to take, and then you can trade down and at least have some margin of safety. Otherwise, a couple other pieces of advice. So in this line, in my repertoire on Chessable, I recommend a6 here. So still trying to go b5, but maybe trying to do without e6 for the moment. Also, I don't think bishop b4 in general is a good idea. The bishop does not want to trade itself for the knight on c3 because you create a lot of dark square weaknesses after that, and my bishop won't have an opponent. So I'd recommend putting the bishop on e7, going for a setup like bishop e7, knight bd7, c5. Try to do that. And probably the weakening of your king side was just too much. h6 and g5 create some headaches. Knight b6 was a nice move, though. Maybe after knight g4, you can respond in some better way, but you are somewhat loose in this position, so got to defend carefully. But anyways, thank you for the game. The general case asks, knight takes f7 instead of queen h5. Did I have that? Let's see. I wasn't quite sure. Yeah, knight takes f7 might be good. Rook takes, and surely I get a lot of compensation. Rook takes e6 coming, or bishop g6 even. Yeah, maybe I should have looked at that more. I was always wondering if black can play queen d5. Even if knight takes f7, maybe queen d5, although then there's bishop e4. Because that always threatens mate on g2 and forces me to respond to that. Shamelessly flagging, says Mitchell. Thanks, Silent Chess Fan. I will do a stream in the future where I play viewers, like a viewer-only stream. I want to do some of those too. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up here, guys. Yeah, Scott said it. Subscriber day. Subscribers/viewers. So thank you guys for tuning in on short notice. And hope you have a good night/day wherever you are. And I'll be back with some more videos and streams in the near future. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.